Hello and welcome to this self-care, self-love reading. I want to forewarn everybody that spirit has been coming in a little bit spicier recently. Maybe it's as we're transitioning into Aries season and wrapping up Pisces here, but the messages are always with love. The intention is always love and self-development, self-betterment, and self-acceptance. So with that being said, I'm using the Light Seers deck, Healing the Inner Child Oracle deck, and Whispers of Love. I'll be adding all of those to the description at the bottom. And as we get started, I welcome you to close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and be open to receive the messages that are coming through today. Remember to take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't. I'm already feeling like there's so much to be said. You got to get so much off of your chest. Again, spicy energy coming through, but I welcome you. I encourage you to lean into your intuition, come back to yourself, think before you speak, and also practice journaling and writing all of this out. It's going to be very beneficial. I'm feeling it all in the throat. So say what you need to say, talk to who you need to talk to. But whatever you've limited yourself on before, whatever you thought you were not capable of before, is just an illusion. This is yourself holding yourself back with your own thoughts. Okay, we got 8 of Swords. There's nothing holding you back except the cage of your mind. And this cage can be so impactful to you. If you are not feeding yourself positive words, if you are not feeding yourself more knowledge, more wisdom, you're going to keep in this trap. You're going to stay in this trap. So 7 of Wands here is telling you it's time to clear shit up. It's time for you to show up exactly in your power, who you are, and all of the things that you've worked so hard to accomplish. Keep going, right? If you're in the middle, if you're in the thick of it, why are you staying there? Keep it pushing, girl. We got so much more to get through, and you're going to be okay. I'll let you know how it ends now. You win. Whatever it is that you want, you get that, right? And this is going to be the message, it feels like, all year long, as we were here in the serpent stage of releasing and shedding and closing out these cycles. You win. But first you have to change the version of you that got you to where you are now, because you need to be a little bit lighter before you get to the next level, right? Think of planes. There's a reason that there's a weight capacity in all of the spaces, whether that's in your luggage, in the seats, in the this and the that. There's a reason that there's a limitation, so that everybody can fit, and so that it's designated for that plane, so that plane knows I can lift all of this, right? So if you're that plane, it's time for you to do this check-in with yourself. Are you over carrying baggage? Are you carrying too many people? Did you fuel it before you try to take off? Right? All of these things, feeding yourself, making sure that your environment is going to be the biggest focus in this reading. If you are not in an environment where you are accepted and loved, and they are not 100% team you, step back. Just keep them at an arm's distance. It's not that you got to cut people off. You don't have to be rude. If you have to end things, then you have to end the conversation or end the friendship, relationship, whatever that is, so be it. These messages are just coming through, and I feel like if you don't allow yourself to just show up, to just be and let people also be, you won't be able to navigate through with discernment who deserves to stay and who is ready to shift and transition into another position in your life. Okay? And all of, like, so much to say with these 2 cards, but remember, you're the director of your life. This is your life. This is your movie. You get to hire, fire, and change the script at any time that you want to. Nothing is set in stone. Nothing is set in stone. Unless you choose and you decide that that's exactly the way it needs to be, then so it is, right? So be a lot more intentional about how you spend your money, how you spend your time, how you spend your energy. 6 of Pentacles, reciprocity. If it is not feeding you, if it is not... I got 3 Fs, all right? If it ain't feeding you, financing you, or fucking you, none of your business. None of your business. It's time for people to show up exactly as who they are. You have to receive them as they are. And if it is good, keep amplifying the beauty, keep savoring the friendships, the relationships, if it is in a mutual standing. If it is not, time to recede, time to step back, time to reclaim your power and activate those healing abilities that you have within yourself, your intuition, right? Activating that inner wisdom. The Tower moment. It's time to let them go. It's time to let them go because you have so much to look forward to, not only in the spring, not only as the season comes in, but you're going to have so much more in your investment come the fall time. 6 months from now, it's already fall, right? Can you commit to yourself for 6 months? Or can you only commit to that toxic relationship that you've been in or the toxic cycles that you've been in for so long? In this game of longevity, we need you to tap the fuck in to your powers. We need you to lean in to who you are. And I'm saying we because it's the collective, because humanity, because society, because your community needs you to be exactly who you are. Perfectly imperfect. As you are. Keep working towards betterment every day. Every day. And this 1%, I had this beautiful conversation with somebody today, but this is what we're leaning on, is allowing yourself to tap into that small difference that you need to make today to allow yourself to make better decisions tomorrow. Or are you going to keep putting that stuff off and saying, tomorrow, or next Monday, or the first of the month, or when this, or when, now, right now. All right, I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to y'all, I'm talking to myself. But the time is now. And the time is always now. Because we are all on borrowed time. Because we don't know anything besides what we know. And I know it's a little bit of a mind fuck. Okay? But we don't know anything except what we know. And our inner knowing, it's the truth. It's that gut instinct. It's what you feel in your heart. It's what you know to be true. That is your dream. That is your belief. That is the extension of you that you need to be focusing on this whole season for the rest of March. Okay? For the rest of March. 5 of Wands. You could be facing conflicts. You could be feeling like this road never ends. I've been on the struggle bus for a while and I don't know when, how, what. When is it my turn? When is it my turn? I can guarantee you that there's things in your surrounding that you are not seeing and taking as a lesson. You're just accepting it for face value and you're not actually absorbing and realizing what is in front of you. This can be so many different things. And what I'm feeling is like this sacred mirror. If you have a partner, if you have a friend, if you have a family member, your mother, your father, whoever it is that is closest to you, if you allow yourself to sit back and observe as opposed to absorb what it is that they're saying, you will see that in front of you is a divine mirror. Would you accept the words that this person is saying? Or would you want them to change them? Are you going to let somebody trigger you? Or are you going to allow them to see how much you've healed and how much work you've done on yourself, and remind them that it's all right. Maybe it's just time to lean into yourself. If we can't see eye to eye, maybe it's time for us to spend some time apart so that you can get your energy back together and remember who the fuck you are. Because right now, the person that you are in front of me is a part of your character, but I know that that's not at the core who you want to be. And I want you to become that person. I want you to become that person because when you're happy, I'm happy. Whether we are friends, whether we are lovers, if we are in relationship or not, whoever you are when you are at your happiest, go be that. Go be that with so much joy. The Magician, as we talk about alchemizing, changing that in the face of the problem, as you are looking at it face to face, as you are confronting somebody or the situation is in front of you, what can you do to change the direction of that energy? What can you do to allow that energy to fuel you and reignite that power within you that you need to be reminded of? The Hierophant. Come back to yourself. Come back to your spiritual practices. This isn't about just the incense and the crystals. No, mama, I need you to pull out the journals. I need you to connect back to yourself in a coloring book. I need you to finger paint. I need you to read a book. I need you to dance or stretch or do something. Get these emotions out of you, or you will continue the imbalance of the body. Now, this is for some of you, because some of you have gotten this figured out in your life. I know who I need to cut off. I know who's been reciprocal in my relationships. I know who's problematic and where I need to change. But I also know that I have the power within me to really alchemize that energy and transmute it into something beautiful. A lot of you are the ones that are awakening those around you. And it's not that it's your job to heal them, but with you shining your light, with you being who you are here to continue to unravel to become, right? And all of this unfolding, you'll inspire so many. You're going to piss people off, but you're going to inspire so many. And for those of you that are on the other side of it and you're like overwhelmed, stressed, you can't see it eye to eye, 111 on the time, I feel that this is your biggest moment for you to come back to the practices. It's not your first rodeo. It's not the first time you've pulled yourself out of the depression, the arguments, the unhappiness, the health issues. It's not the first time. I know that, you know that, we know that. It's not the first time. So what do you need to do to pull yourself back? Call yourself back and connect to yourself. All of this coming into inner child work. And it's not that everything is only inner child, but sometimes when we become a little bitter with life, when we become a little bit more resentful, it's because that child within us didn't get to be heard, didn't get to be seen, didn't get to be understood. Yep, surrender. Time to shed. Let it go. Be as light as a feather. If people want to do something, this goes back to the first video. If you have not watched it, go back, because let them. You want to stay? Let them. You want to love me? Let them. You want to hate me? Let them. Either way, it doesn't affect me. I affect me. I am in control of my own energy. Grief. A lot of you are processing, and all of this laying over. Oh, how cute. It kind of goes hand in hand with the Tower card with these earth elements here. And there's a lot of grief in this transformation. There's grief in the shedding. There's still fallen leaves. And there's a lot of us that are still healing what happened back 6 months ago. But you're not that version. And every day you wake up a new version of you. You wake up either more full of life, grateful of life, or you become depleted, which then brings you back into depression, right? With all of the pressures of the world, with the stresses of the world. Grief is hard, but it doesn't have to be. You don't have to stay in that energy. It doesn't have to be hard. Are you gonna feel deeply? Yes. Is it gonna hurt? Yes. But doesn't a paper cut too? I'm risking a paper cut right now as we're shuffling cards. It's the balance, it's the duality of life. What can you do for your grief? You can move, you can scream, you can breathe. Grief stores in your lungs, so if you allow yourself to breathe and do more breath work practices, you'll be able to release that. And grieving doesn't mean you have to cry every day. It doesn't mean you have to be mad every day. And it doesn't have to be something that you wear. But it is an emotion that comes through that you need to befriend, that you have the conversation with. And what is it that you need to pour back into yourself? To treat you like the little version of you that needed the adult, the safety net, the compassion, the holding, right? And if it's holding, a weighted blanket will suffice. A weighted blanket, put on a nice little movie that's gonna make you smile or make you cry, but get it out. If you need the assistance, get it out. Don't let it hoard in your body. It's gonna affect your heart chakra, the anxieties, all of that stuff. And hope. There is so much. There's a new beginning. And, you know, at first glance, I thought that this little multicolored building here, looks like one of those water things, looked like this cage. And that's what I was talking about. You release yourself from the cage. You allow yourself to become hopeful, optimistic, have faith, trust, right? Look at these kids. They're on the balloon. You think they're afraid the balloon's gonna pop? No. They're enjoying the ride. They're gonna go see, bird's eye perspective of the problem of the situation. What do I need to see that I have not seen? Time. Give it time. I hear this a lot in Spanish. Dale tiempo al tiempo. Give time. Because if we give ourselves time, the humanness within us is like, how much time? 2 hours, 3 weeks, 2 months? What do we need? What do we need? And it's like, what? That's not how this works. That's not how this works. But what I can say is if you allow yourself to release and shed, stop holding these high expectations on things that you do not have control over, time will start to show and say, hey, I'm on your side. I needed you to clear this energy out, understand this emotion so that I can bring you these gifts. Because if I bring you these gifts and you don't understand why you're going through this, you won't appreciate them. And we know that, right? Especially with the inner child work, we know that if we are not appreciated, we don't perform as well as we could. We need nurturing. We need nurturing. And as we continue here with that, we're going to use the whispers of love. What loving, nurturing message do we need for the collective today? What message do we need for the collective today? 3. Love is all around you. There's love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. And back to nature. Spend time outside. There is sun finally out here in Southern California. There is sun. It is starting to get a little warm. You can hear the birds chirping again and nice and loud. You can see so much greenery outside the windows. Come back. Go back to knowing that you are everything and everything around you is also a representation of you. And if you don't like that, change it. Change it. True love. This love is once in a lifetime. Some of you are dealing with relationship in regards to this, although this is a self-love, but the only true love that you are really going to find is the one within yourself. How are you supposed to know how to love another if you don't love yourself? How are you supposed to accept another's flaws and shadows and know how to dance with somebody else's demons? Because we all have them. We all have a shadow aspect. If you don't, you've graduated and you're on the other side, you've transitioned over. That's just my belief. But how do you know that you'll know how to two-step with somebody if you don't even know the moves? If you don't understand the rhythm, if you don't understand the depths within yourself and what you're capable of? How do you know? And the last one, I love you. These are powerful words. It's time for you to tap back in to the self-devotion, self-love, affirmations, self-touch. And I'm going to talk about this every time, because this goes hand in hand with your intuition. This goes hand in hand with what is coming up here. If you don't love yourself, okay, Mama Ru, how the hell are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen? But really, if you can't love yourself, then how do you know that you genuinely love your plants? And if you know that you have genuine love for somebody else, for a thing, an object, a person, a pet, then you know that you can dial in that much love and pour it back into yourself. I love you. And I hope you love yourself too. I believe in you. And I hope that you believe in yourself as much as I believe in you. I don't have to know you to have faith in you. I know that you have it within your ability, and I know whoever is watching this and made it this far into the video, you needed these words. I needed to tell you, you needed to hear them for me. God, Source, Creator, put all of this in divine time, in divine alignment for us to be here today, to share this message, whether you play it back and save it and rewatch it later. But it's time for you to play your own frequency, to play your own tune, to fall in love with yourself again. It's time to fall in love with yourself. And it's springtime. A great practice would be to check in where you were 6 months ago and where you are today. Is anything different? And what would you tell the person you are today, the person you were 6 months ago? Sending you so much love. See you soon.